This is NorthEx 2021. With the restrictions caused by the pandemic loosening, it's time to hit the road again. Join us as we go north. First to a small town called Hornpayne, Ontario. Then to the beautiful and amazing Lake Superior Provincial Park. Join us for NorthEx 2021. Okay, so what is NorthEx? Quite simply put, NorthEx means Northern Expedition. And it can also change name. Let's say you were to go to the West Coast or the East Coast, it could be West X or East X. But in this case, we're doing Northern Ontario, and it's NorthEx 2021. And it's important to talk about the spirit of these expeditions. It's a whole mindset. So the spirit behind it is to have a very basic plan in place. You know, essentially where we're going to go, where we're going to stay, and make sure that we kind of cover our bases. But beyond that, it's kind of a free-for-all. So whatever we feel like doing, wherever we want to go, however long we want to spend in a certain place, that's how it's going to be. It's plain and simple. It is all about spontaneity and adventure. Been doing them for the past few years, and I think this is the first one that's made it to YouTube, but maybe I'll go back in time and edit some of these former... I recorded them, but at the time it was incredibly difficult for me to edit the videos, so I never actually put them out. But anyway, maybe I will edit them and get them out there. We'll see. This is Hornpayne. This will be our home for the next few days. It's a small town in Northern Ontario. It's about 11 or 12 hours north of Toronto. We're here to visit with some of Katrina's family, but also to do some remote photography in the Northern Ontario wilderness. There were some interesting things that happened this year. With everybody being locked inside for so long, everybody wants to go camping, go hiking, rent cabins, just get away from the sort of the mundane and being locked down and so on. So it was incredibly difficult for us to find places to stay, campgrounds, cabins. It was all booked up, essentially. And it actually didn't happen last year. We try to do it every year. Last year was kind of a mini NorthEx. I keep doing this and I don't know why. What are you gonna do? So anyway, so normally in late September, it's pretty much no issue trying to find a campground or any kind of place to stay, motel or whatever. But this year, like I said, everybody wanted to get out. Everybody wanted to go to a remote cabin or whatever. They just wanted to get away from the regular, everyday, mundanicity. That's a word for sure. We sat down and we had to plan out every single step to make sure that this trip would work, which we did. Like, we sat down for probably about 2 hours, 2 solid hours. And then beyond that, there were a bunch of calls and online bookings and research. And one of the biggest things about this trip was the number of moments where it kind of felt like your soul was being cleansed, and it felt like everything was okay. Everything was just fine. The universe was a good place to be, and there were no problems. And I desperately needed that. This is Lake Nagamissis. We'll be returning here over the next few days to try to capture the beauty of this lake. It's about 20-25 minutes north of Hornpayne. Definitely worth the drive for the beauty and the potential wildlife that's here. During this trip, I primarily focused on landscapes. And did it ever provide that? How was that?
That was difficult.
Oh. It sounded so... It sounded so loud. I don't know. It just sounded like it was an animal. Do you hear that? We walked out to a very, very tiny island to try to get some compositions. So we've just walked from the main shore over to this tiny little island. It's not too deep. My eye is on those white rocks there, or white capped rocks. And I really love the way that looks. So I'm gonna capture a photo of that and play around with the compositions and see if I can get something I like. Because right now it's just blue sky, so it's a little bit but proof of concept right here. I'm gonna get some photos and do the best I can. So this might be better as a sunset or sunrise photo. Right now it's just blue skies, not even any interesting clouds or anything. But if we can squeeze it in, I'd like to come back here both at sunrise and sunset and see what we can do here for composition. The sunset was over this way somewhere, so I'm guessing that the sunrise would be somewhere over this way, and that might make a pretty cool photo. We'll see. I'm gonna go see if I can walk over there. Okay. Oh. Let's go. that didn't go very well. And there you have it. Failure. Let's take a second to just admire the beauty of this spot. Just as I was hoping for, a glorious sunrise. You get a different perspective of the world when you're in that situation. The moon that night was 98% full. The next morning I was back at it with some time lapses and landscape photography and just trying to continue to capture the beauty of the area. Lake Nagamassis is an incredible spot, not only for photography, but to unwind and to unburden yourself of the stresses of the world. Our time here in Hornpayne is up. Lake Nagamassis was beautiful, but it's time to move on to our next destination. Thank you so much for joining us on this adventure, on this northern expedition. I hope you had a very good time watching this. I had a great time making these videos. This was part one. I hope I'll see you in part two.